This is not the Mafex 147 Black Suit Spider-Man, but this is the CT Toys Black Suit Spider-Man. What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us once again on the Dstar01 channel. I'm your host, Dexter, Arafiles, and today we'll be looking at the Mafex, or the clone of the Mafex 147 Black Suit Spider-Man. If you're thinking this is the real deal, this is not. This is a fake, this is a clone, this is a China clone, something that you get from AliExpress for around $20. But today, I did not pay $20 for this figure. CT Toys actually sent this out to me for me to review, which is really, really cool. And also, if you're thinking, hey, didn't you already do something like this? Yes, I did. But, to be 100% honest with you, this is a much different figure than the one I did last time. The last one that I did of the Symbiote Spider-Man Mafex clone, it wasn't very good. It didn't have much articulation. It was just really a mess. Not very good at all. And this one, I've opened it up, I've looked at it, and it's actually a much better figure. So this is by CT Toys. The other one I don't think was a CT Toys, and you guys were telling me in the comments it wasn't. So we're going to look at paint and detail, articulation and scale, and accessories. But first, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always in the know when I post new videos. And lastly, you can go to www.dstar01 for awesome action figures. No fakes there. Nothing but the real deal. I'm just looking at this fake. Well, anyway, let's go into the top cam and see what we're dealing with here. So, the last one I reviewed, I don't have it anymore because I gave it away in a giveaway. Let's go to the front cam. The last one was missing a lot of details. The last one, of course, I made a really, really loud stint that the toe articulation was fake. This is actually real, and he actually has, as his arm pops out, butterfly joints. The first fake that I reviewed did not have that, so this is already turning out to be a much better figure. So let's look at paint, and so far it looks really good. Now, it's really hard to paint something like this. As you can see right here, there's actually a lot of paint bleed right here in the back. They didn't do a really good job with the spider legs coming out here, but that's fine. Again, you're only paying $20 for this, so it's not a big deal. And don't forget the gradient from black to blue. You can see it all over here. It looks really solid. The plastic on the joints are a little bit shiny when compared to everything else, but not really a big deal in my opinion. This looks like Black Suit Spider-Man. No issues there. So let's compare him to the real deal. And this is where you start to notice things. Again, oh, this makes me really sad. CT Toys, just get the scale right. Look at this. Big difference. Wow. The Mafex Real Deal Symbiote Spider-Man is just significantly bigger, taller, more robust, I guess. He's just a better looking, taller, and definitely bigger scaled figure. Also, look at the paint and detail. Much better on the real one. Again, you're only paying 20 some. This one, I don't think you can even get anymore. You're looking at around over 100. So, you're only paying a fraction of the cost because you're only getting a fraction of the figure. See what I did there? But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's kind of a problem if you're looking for something similar to the real thing. It is not scaled correctly. Now, to me, personally, I don't like this. Yeah, he doesn't scale well with other figures, so he's definitely a smaller Peter Parker here. So that's my issue. But for some who don't really care about like half an inch or is that a quarter inch there, then fine. That's up to you. That's for you to decide. For me, this isn't for me. So let's talk about articulation and scale, which we just talked about scale there. But let's see how tall he's really standing. So the real one is, or the fake one here, is 5.5. The real one is 6. So yeah, half an inch difference. Wow. So if you're thinking about height, like, oh, it's just a half an inch, Dex. No, everything else is smaller. His arms are smaller. His head is smaller. His legs are smaller. Everything has to scale down to look good. So therefore, you just get a smaller figure. So let's compare him with the other action figure. We have Captain America from Marvel Legends, and that's how he scales with him. Let's see if we can get good old Cap to stand up straight here. And let's look at how he compares with Mafex original. So that's how he compares to that. And of course, we just reviewed this one. Is the lowest form Saiyan Goku. That's how they compare right there. Let's talk about articulation. We do get it up and down here at the toe. We do get it up and down here at the ankle. A little bit of swivel there. Double jointed ankle right there. Ball joint at the hip right there. We do get a decent... Hold on. We do get a decent ab crunch there. You know what? That's funny that just came off because now it's like really tight. Maybe they didn't put it pop it in the factory. Decent rotation right here. Don't forget we actually do get butterfly joints. It seems like this arm just does not want to pop back in very well. So that's coming off. But we do have bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, ball and peg here at the wrist, and 2 articulation points here at the neck, looking to be well above 20 points. And of course, yes, look at this though. This is pretty cool. Is this loose? Is this? Hold on. Hold on. What? Is that loose? Yeah, it really is loose. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we do get a superhero landing pose, which is really, really cool. So yeah, very nice. Not bad. Not bad at all for the price of $20. And no, I think that's even with shipping costs or free shipping. Let's look at the top cam for accessories. We do get an assortment of webs, a Peter Parker face, an assortment of hands, and of course a different head, and magnetic shoes. And don't forget the web backpack. So let's go back to the front cam. Let's look at this. This is definitely much better than the last one we got, which was absolutely awful. This one looks much better. It looks like they actually put some black wash into the hair to make it look even more detailed, looking really solid. Definitely a much better one than the last clone, and they actually did his 5 o'clock shadow really nicely. I have to say, this is not a bad head sculpt here. Let's see if I can pull off the neck. I actually had to bite his neck off because it was so tight. So here it is. And this isn't half bad at all. This is pretty cool, actually. I really like this. Let's put it on the original. So when it comes to smaller scaled things, I've noticed that they make all the joints smaller. So if you're wondering if this will pop in, no, this is definitely a no-go. Look at the size of that socket of this one, and look at the size of here on the real one. I think the real one's smaller, so therefore this isn't going to pop in. And let's do a comparison here. Yeah, it looks like the neck joint is just different. See, this one pops in so easily. Let me see if I can keep trying here. Oh, wait, okay, yeah. Oh, wow. I just had to push that in really tightly. And there you have it. It is a solid replacement. So let's say you did lose your Peter Parker head. I'd say this is pretty cool and definitely worth doing. And, yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at him. Yeah. Not bad. You know, now that we're swapping stuff, let's see. So, CT Toys hand, real deal, and yes, the real deal and the CT Toys hand do fit. It looks like we have interchangeable accessories. Actually, let's put the real head. No, the real one does not fit. Oh no, that's sad. So. Can't do that. For some reason, the fake works on the real one doesn't work on the fake. So let's, you know what? This is the real deal. I'm just messing around here. This seems like a good idea to have as a parts kit for your Symbiote Spider-Man original. Let's see. So this is the magnetic feet, and they do work on the real one. That's pretty cool. Let's put it on the fake. I might actually be mixing up stuff here. I'm going to put these on the fake, and I'm just going to... You're just going to have to trust me, because I don't have a lot of metal in this place, in my area. Yeah, I just tested these on some metal objects. Not very strong magnets, unfortunately. So, anyway. Yeah, that kind of sucks. So, let's get let me get my real accessories back on here. don't mix things up. Let's see if the real one fits. Hold on. Yeah, real one fits. I think I really like that this Peter Parker head works with the real deal. I really like that. Yeah, the fist hands do work. And of course, the web shooter hand also works. Bam. Look at that. Pretty cool. For the money, you really can't deny that this is a good deal. It's pretty close to the Mafex. And more or less, I really like this head sculpt. It's pretty cool. And here's the angry eyes. I know we're not supposed to put on the neck, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's how it looks like. Not bad. I'm actually going to keep this head on. And I also noticed when I was removing heads, this joint's really hard to remove. It's really poppy. Like, you have to really pull it out. I actually have a tool here that helps me. And I think this is, like, really difficult to place in. Yeah, really hard to pop in. I just have a really hard time with that. So I'm going to keep this one on. And let's get at least one web in before we end this video. And again, we always look at the other accessories during the showcase at the end. And there you have it. There's a web right there. Okay, so let's come up with a conclusion of the CT Toys Black Suit Spider-Man. For $20 to $25, definitely a good deal. No doubt about it. Pretty good, pretty sturdy. Biggest negative, smaller scale. I absolutely hate that. If they could get the scale right, they would have a winner, but they don't. And another thing is, the paint apps are a little bit sloppy on the back here, but that isn't really a big deal. I think the biggest positive here is, one, you're saving a lot of money by buying this one, so you're not getting the real one because the real one's really expensive. And two, this Peter sculpt, head sculpt, is very good. Very, very good. I like it a lot. Definitely worth it just for that alone. And you can even see here, that's not, see that, and then this. Not bad. I'd have to say not bad at all. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Do not forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always in the know when I post new videos. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.